spanning nearly 1.5 million acres, and the Keys, another 90,000 in southern Florida, housing nearly 800 different living creatures. I'm so happy. 36 of which are threatened or endangered. Many are iconic, while others are infamous. Join me, Daniel Wilson, on my escapades through the Everglades and the Keys, here on Real Wild Adventure. This morning we woke up and began driving to Key Largo's Cannon Beach in John Pennekamp Coral Reef State Park.
This is chicken from Walmart. That's my snorkeling equipment. Let's adventure. But first. Oh, God.
Before diving into the beach, I saw this beautiful lizard, an African redhead agama. And like its name suggests, it's another non-native invasive species here in Florida. Add it to the list because Florida is home to over 500 non-native introduced species. Crazy! After observing this unique invader, we dove right into the reef at Cannon Beach. It was full of all kinds of beautiful fish, but what made this specific beach so unique was that it had actual cannons as an artificial reef underwater. You heard me, cannons! Now these cannons are artifacts from older shipwrecks and were placed here for visitors like ourselves to enjoy, reminding us of the uniquely turbid past of Florida. As I was swimming around, I found an underwater cliff that dropped off from about 7 to 8 feet to nearly 20 feet deep. Of course, I dove the precipice to see what could be lurking in the shadows deep underwater. Predator species love these kinds of areas. It allows them to hide in deeper, darker waters and hunt the edge of this coral reef for an easier meal. And those are exactly what we saw. I wasn't able to capture it on camera, but off in the murky depth, I saw a long, sharp, sandy-colored caudal fin disappear just out of sight. I believed it was a shark. So what did I do? I swam out looking for it. While searching for the shark, I actually came across several species of grunt, surgants, angelfish, spiny lobster, hogfish, barracuda, and even a grouper. It took me a while, but eventually I came up on a huge fish. This is a tarpon. Now I saw 3 of them, and they can reach up to 8 feet long, and they're incredible predators that gulp up smaller fish easily. They're likely here on the edge of this cliff-like reef for an easy meal. The ones that I was actually able to see were around probably 5 feet long, and they disappeared quickly into the foggy abyss once I approached. So cool! After a while of swimming around looking for this shark, I more or less gave up and headed back into shore, but not before I spotted this cute little crab. Look at him scurry. We just got to swim in the Cannon Beach. There were literal cannons underwater. They were tarpon, which are massive fish underwater. In Belize, got clobbered by one, but I chased them down. It was still really cool to see like 4 or 5 foot long tarpons underwater. Saw a ton of stuff, and that's not it. We're going into Far Beach here, which is where, Shannon? Far away. The first thing we saw when we went to Far Beach was actually a sign that warned swimmers of crocodilians. So I needed to be cautious. I'm gonna go swim with them though, that being said. The first thing I saw when I jumped into this mangrove beach were all of these Cassiopeans, or more commonly known as upside down jellyfish. And they were everywhere. So naturally, I had to try and pick one up. It's fascinating to me how these jellyfish live out their lives, because it answers a maybe obvious question of why are they upside down? Cassiopeans have a very unique symbiotic relationship with photosynthetic dinoflagellates. The jellyfish houses these microscopic creatures under the bell and in its tendrils. And unlike many other types of jellyfish, the upside down jellyfish is not predatory. It gains all of its needed energy through a shared photosynthetic process, which is why it can be found in these sometimes shallow mangrove beaches here in southern Florida, lying on their bell, tendrils up, soaking up sunlight. This also means that the sting of this specific type of jellyfish does not need to be lethal. They also have very short tendrils. This is why I'm able to carefully move this jellyfish. And as you can see, as soon as they are disturbed, they go right back to the bottom, lying on their bell, once again, photosynthesizing. That being said, they can sting. And I did find that out when I was swimming with them. I did ask a park ranger here, and he told me basically that they release their stinging cells as you swim over them in little strands, so that when you're swimming over top of them, you get stung. This acts as a deterrent from potential predators. So what does it feel like? Well, thankfully my body doesn't really react to most bites and stings, thus far at least, and this felt a bit like someone was shooting little tiny shards of glass at me. At first I didn't really think anything of it, but then I got it in the lip and my lip started to swell up. Wasn't too bad, just a little bit, and it really didn't have any lingering effects for me, but they do say that it can cause prolonged itching in some people. After a while of investigating these amazing creatures that I have always wanted to see in the wild, we moved on to a more open beach here at Far Beach. The beach life here is amazing. I even came across several of these spiny lobsters. This one was stunning. It was out in the open looking for a safe place to hide from predators. Look at those colors. Spiny lobsters don't have large claws and instead rely on hiding in reefs, wedging themselves in with the spines that they're named after. Incredible! But where the really spooky beauty came from was the roots of these mangroves. There's so many beautiful colors of coral, sponge, tunicates, and even fish. Oh, and more of these upside down jellyfish. An unexpectedly beautiful hidden world. Look at all these stunning orange sponges. I'll be honest, everything in me wanted to touch them. But the knowledgeable side of me said, wait, it's orange. Bright colors often indicate toxin, also known as aposematic coloration. Maybe I shouldn't touch it. I've been stung by enough things today. I looked it up later and I'm glad I didn't touch it because I believe that that was a fire sponge, which can leave nasty welts to say the least. I've experienced fire coral before in Belize, don't really want to experience fire sponge. Proud of myself for that one. Also, check out these cool mollusks and these cute little hermit crabs. Eventually a storm rolled in, so we headed back to our car and got back on the road to see what we could see on our way back to our Airbnb. where are the fish? Just kidding. We're gonna be looking for whatever reptiles we can find again. During the day hike, we're just gonna be here at this botanical garden, but later, we're gonna be herping the roads. So let's go. From the Keys, back to Fort Lauderdale. Don't hit me, please. Okay, he didn't hit me. So now we're gonna be heading to a random road that may or may not be in the Everglades. Kind of hard to tell. That place had a lot of mosquitoes, and they wanted us to pay in cash to walk a trail, which is, it's whatever, I guess. It's wild. It's wild, we'll say. I understand they need to make money. But so we are going to be going to that random canal, and we're gonna hurt the daylights out of it. I got a net and everything from Walmart. Wally World came in clutch. Granted, they didn't have the one I wanted, but I got a net. So we're gonna be heading there next, and then we're getting food and raising canes, and tomorrow's gonna be fun too. So follow us along for that. Oh my gosh, guys, we were just driving down my things like this. It's a baby alligator, I think, or is this a baby croc? I'm just gonna flip him over. He's still alive. We're gonna get him off the road. Anytime you see a dead animal off the road, this looks awful. It's an alligator. Okay, so Shannon was asking me earlier, how do you tell the difference between crocs and alligators? One is their snout. So you'll see his snout is pretty rounded. That's an alligator. Crocs tend to have a bit more of an angular sharpness, and then their teeth here also a bit more prevalent. Also, you'll notice that these are like osteoderms, effectively. They're a lot more present on crocs. What I was saying earlier is, I really don't want dead animals on the road, because then scavengers, this is awful, you can not look at this, but like zoom into my face while I do this. Scavengers basically, scavengers will eat them, and then they'll also get hit, and we don't want that. We don't want like other animals coming after that and being like, free dinner, which fair. Sad to see it happen to an alligator, but we don't want another animal to get hurt, so let's keep on herping and see what else we can find. There's a massive grasshopper. And I got him. Oh, check this. I think this is a lubber grasshopper of some kind. Check this out. These are big-bodied grasshoppers, effectively. And I've seen the big black versions of these, but just try to get his leg out of my net now. His little foot hooks are just... Check out this massive grasshopper. We found him in the road. They're literally just getting hit, so I'm grabbing one to take it off the road. But I wanted to look up close because I was like, is that really a grasshopper? Yeah. Check that monster out. Look at those back legs. He is massive. That is a big, fat, mosquito, juicy grasshopper. And he's beautiful. He's got these yellow colorations and the red tinting of his wings. Wow. Those bugs keep getting me. I'm gonna kick him off the road. This is so cool. This is like right down the road from where we just saw that alligator. Look at these guys. Wow. So I took it off the road and boink, there it goes. What a cool find. They were everywhere. Glad I saved it. Well, that's day 2 here in southern Florida. The Keys were spectacular. We saw all kinds of beautiful aquatic life and even this crazy huge grasshopper. Tomorrow, we head to the depths of the Everglades on the search for a python. So if you like this video, give it a like and subscribe to explore, adventure, and discover the world with us. As always, keep it real, keep it wild, and I'll see you in the next adventures here in the Everglades and the Keys, the gems of Florida.